All right, let's jump right in. If you're running a CPA firm, you probably know the feeling of wanting to grow, but the thought of just working harder is exhausting. Today, we're going to unpack a strategy that's all about growing smarter. It's all about what's called the offshore advantage.
So, let me ask you this, and be honest. Is your firm really ready for more growth? I mean, does the idea of another tax season, another busy season, just make you tense up? Thinking about your team already stretched to the breaking point?
Yeah, let's start with what I call the CPA's scaling problem. And you know what? It's a pain point that pretty much every single successful firm hits sooner or later.
I mean, you know the drill, right? Every single tax season, it feels like the pressure just cranks up. You've got more clients, the deadlines feel tighter than ever, and your best people, they're just completely swamped. It's this vicious cycle of burnout that actually stops you from growing. So the obvious answer seems to be, well, let's just hire more people. But the thing is, as so many firms have found out the hard way, that's not always the magic bullet. Sometimes it just creates a whole new set of headaches. Think about it. The whole hiring process is just tough. First, finding good, experienced people, that can take months. Then you've got to train them on your firm's way of doing things, which costs a ton of time and money. And here's the real kicker. What happens in the off-season? You're stuck paying for all that permanent staff when the work just isn't there. It's super inefficient. Okay, so this is where we need to think differently. There's a much smarter, more strategic way to handle this. It's really about completely rethinking your operations for, peak efficiency. And that strategy is called offshore tax preparation. Now, what does that actually mean? Well, simply put, you're outsourcing the nuts and bolts of preparing tax returns to professional teams outside the US. But, and this is super important, these aren't just random people. They are trained professionals who specialize specifically in US tax regulations. This is about getting expert help. And here's the part that everyone needs to understand. You stay in complete control. Your firm still owns the client relationships. You're the one doing the final review and hitting file. The offshore team basically acts like a secure, invisible extension of your own team, just handling all that nitty-gritty prep work that eats up so much time. Okay, so what's the big deal? How does this actually help your firm? Let's get into the real tangible benefits here. Okay, this is one of my favorite parts. It's basically like turning the clock into your superpower. The time zone difference becomes this incredible productivity machine. Just picture it. Your team assigns a bunch of work at 5 p.m. their time. They go home, and while you're asleep, the work gets done. You come in the next morning, grab your coffee, and boom, the completed returns are sitting there, ready for you to review. It's a 24/7 workflow, and it just crushes turnaround times. But getting work done fast is just the beginning. As you can see from this chart, the benefits are huge across the board. We're talking about massive flexibility, getting access to experts you might not find locally, and of course, some pretty serious cost savings. We're often talking over 50% on labor costs alone. It's a game changer. Let's dig into that flexibility for a second. With this offshore model, you can basically turn your workforce up and down like a thermostat. When tax season hits, you crank it up. When things slow down, you dial it way back. You're only paying for what you actually use. Now, compare that to the old way. Hiring permanent staff means you're carrying those heavy salary costs all year round, whether you're busy or not. And this right here, this visual shows the real magic. It's about shifting where your firm spends its energy. Instead of being buried in compliance work, spending 70% of your time just on prep, you flip the script. Now you can spend that 70% on high-value, high-profit advisory work. It's a total transformation. Because when you do that, you free up your best people, your senior team, to do the stuff that actually grows your business and makes clients stick around for life. We're talking big picture tax planning, real financial consulting, becoming that trusted advisor for your clients. That's where the big money is, and that's where the real satisfaction is too. Okay, I know what you're probably thinking. This sounds good, but you've got questions. And you should. So let's tackle the big ones, the concerns that come up every single time. Right. The number one question every single time is about security. Is my client's data actually safe? And it's the most important question to ask. And the answer is a very clear yes, as long as you work with a professional provider. The good ones take security incredibly seriously. It's their whole business. They're using things like bank-level encryption, secure cloud systems. They have major certifications to prove it. Your data is locked down tight. Okay, next up is the other biggie. What about the quality of the work? I mean, is it accurate? Can I actually trust it? For sure. Quality isn't an afterthought. It's baked right into the process. The best providers have these multi-step review systems, so one person prepares the return, then a senior person reviews it, and sometimes even a manager reviews it again, all before it even gets back to you. And remember, you and your team always have the final look and the final sign-off. Nothing goes out the door without your approval.
So when you step back and look at the whole picture, you realize this isn't just a Band-Aid for tax season. It's a core strategy for building a CPA firm that's truly ready for the future, one that's more resilient and a lot more profitable. I mean, just think about how our industry has evolved. Back in the day, it was all manual ledgers. Then came desktop software. Then everything moved to the cloud. Well, what's next? This is it. Seamless global collaboration is the next big leap forward for how we operate. And that really brings us to the main point of all of this. To scale your firm, you don't necessarily have to scale your payroll. You don't have to just keep hiring more and more people. With the right strategy, you can grow your revenue and your client base, all while keeping your core team focused on what they do best. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. The industry is changing fast. Technology, global talent, it's all reshaping what's possible. The real question is, how is your firm going to evolve with it?